Hi, welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell by the video, we're in a little bit of a challenge. Today is Friday the 29th of May and I really want to have 6 books finished in May. I currently have 5 and you will have just seen the clips of me looking through the Kindle Unlimited catalogue and picking out a standalone read. Basically, I want to get a book finished by the time Sunday ends. I had a couple of requirements. One was I wanted it to be a standalone because I'm doing a whole other thing with series at the minute. I don't really want to start any new ones and I didn't want to continue any that wasn't going to go into that little mini series I'm doing on my channel. I also was hoping to do something on my Kindle. All the books on my shelf are quite long. They're quite chunky books and I am heading away tomorrow, which is going to make this even more difficult. I'm going away tomorrow morning for a night away. I won't come back until Sunday evening, so I need to get as much reading done this evening, and on the plane tomorrow it's only a very short flight if I want to complete this goal. Now, one of the benefits of the book that I picked is it's on Kindle Unlimited, but it's also a read and listen copy, so you also get access to it on Audible, which means I'm pretty confident that I can do this, despite the fact I have very little listening time between now and midnight on Sunday. It's about 4:30. Yeah, it's about 4:30 on Friday evening. I have loads to do. I need to pack, I need to shower and all those things, but I'm going to spend about an hour reading before I do anything else. Hopefully make a little bit of a dent in this. I read books from this author before. I've read, I think, X's Nose and The Catch, I think the books were called. This is a YA book, so I'm hoping it's going to be digestible and easy, that I can fly through it. And if all else fails, I have an audiobook that I can listen to while I'm getting ready and stuff, because tomorrow I am getting a flight to County Kerry and then driving another hour and a half to Valentia Island because I have a friend who lives there and she's having a birthday party. So there won't be a lot of reading time on Saturday. Then on Sunday we're staying on the island for a few hours before we fly home on Sunday evening. So again, probably not a lot of reading time then, but Sunday night I'll be able to read if I need to. I don't do well having to finish books in a short amount of time, but I'm feeling really confident about this. I really want to get 6 books finished in May. If you don't know why, this year I have progressively added a book to my read amount every month. So in April I read 5, in March I read 4, February I read 3, January I read 2. So if I do 6 this month, it means I've progressed every month. Now, I know I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever, because am I going to read 7 books in June? Probably not. But I kind of set myself a little challenge to get 6 in May, and surprisingly, even though I didn't read for about 10 days, I have 5 done. So it's possible. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, so it's clearly a whole lot later. I have spent some time reading, I packed up, made dinner, had dinner, cleaned up, had a shower, obviously curled my hair, pinned it. This front piece is looking a little bit funky. I'm going to have to do something with that, but it's fine for now. All the while, I have managed to read and listen. Having it on Audible at the same time has really helped me. And I'm on chapter 13. Doesn't seem like too much, but it's 37% of the way through. I'm hoping that I can go inside to bed and read for a little bit and get to 50% by the end of the night, which would be perfect. For a reader, I don't do a very good job with reading the synopsis of books, and I had no idea what was going to happen in this book. And it's literally in the synopsis on Amazon, where I got it from Kindle Unlimited, and on Goodreads and on Fable, where I added it to my library. And I did not cop. I did see that it mentioned the movie 13 Going on 30, but I didn't cop it. It was like the same vibes as that. So when I started reading like the first 3 or 4 chapters, in my head I was thinking this feels like a 90s noughties rom-com movie, it's like giving those kind of feels. And then it turns out that the protagonist and the antagonist both go like 13 years into the future, and they're 30. They literally just wake up and they're 30, and the two of them know that this has happened and everybody else around them is just like living life as normal. And when that first happened, I thought, God, yeah, I thought the synopsis mentioned that movie, because they themselves mention the protagonist Shar mentions that her mum likes the film 13 Gone on 30, and it reminded me that it was mentioned in the synopsis, so I went back and looked, and it literally says in the synopsis that Shar and the male main character wake up 13 years later and they're 30. So that just went right over my head. So far, I think it's great. It's moving at a good pace. There's a variety of different characters. There's like family issues, there's friendship issues, there's teenage life issues, and it's just a nice easy read. It's actually one of those books that even if I wasn't trying to finish it quickly, you would finish quite quickly, like you would read it quite quickly anyway. So yeah, a great choice from me to pick this up for this purpose. I don't really remember the other two Amy Lee books that I read before. I think it's Lee, it could be Leah, it's L-E-A. I don't know, I'm sure it's Lee or Leah. I'm gonna go with Lee for now. I don't really remember reading the books, but I would go out on a limb and say that I'm enjoying this one more than I enjoyed those two because I don't really remember them. And this is a great book. I can't believe I've never seen anybody talk about this before. And obviously on my Kindle it's like black and white, but the cover of this book is gorgeous. It's like purple and like these are like blown up balloons, and it's just pretty. That's where we're at. I'm absolutely loving it at the minute. It's kind of like at a stage where they both know, they've told one of their friends so then they can find out where they're at in their lives at the age of 30, and they're both trying to like reverse it now. So they both work in their high school where they went to school, so they've gone back to the high school to try to recreate the accident that caused them to pass out and wake up 13 years later. That's obviously going to have its own challenges. They've already been talking to students and another teacher and like kind of didn't know what was happening. It's like 10 o'clock now and I need to be up kind of early tomorrow to go to the airport. So as I said, I'm going to try to read to 50% and then read a bit in the plane, listen maybe on the plane. This book is written in first person. I know some people don't like that. I am quite enjoying it. I feel like I'm more immersed in the story a bit, but you just get one POV, and I know some people like a dual POV, but for me this is working especially for this book. I went through a phase a few years ago where I wasn't enjoying YA books at all, but I think I'm in my YA era again, which is strange because I'm 30. I'm going to be 31 on Monday, and this is like my favourite book I've read in quite a while. I've not had many hits recently. This is literally going to be the best rated book I've read physically in a while. I had an audiobook a few weeks ago that I really liked. But yeah, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to try to get to 50%. I don't know if I'm going to be doing much catching up tomorrow because I'm going to be with my friends and stuff, but we'll catch up at some point. I have not read much at all, but I'm about to go out, so I thought I'd do a check-in for Saturday. I didn't read as much before bed last night as I thought, and then the flight was so quick I only got to chapter 21, which is 55%. And then I've been with my friends all day, and then I was getting ready, and I don't think I'm going to be reading after I come home tonight. I've not completely given up hope yet. I feel like I have all day. I don't really have all day tomorrow. We're going to be kind of spending time with our friends and stuff, but I will be home tomorrow evening, so I'm hoping if I like really lock in, like in the morning if I have some free time, and then tomorrow evening I'm hoping to get it finished. So I have 45% of the book to finish. If I commit to it, I know I can do it, but I don't know if it will actually happen. I'm really hoping it does, but yeah, I've not much of a check-in right now. I am really, they're still in the future. I'm really enjoying it. They keep trying to get to the past, but yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen with the future moving through times type of thing, but they kind of started off as like enemies, and now they're like kind of understanding each other a bit more, which I like. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that for now. I will hopefully be checking in tomorrow and hopefully finishing it. Hello everyone, it is Sunday night. Actually it's quite late, it is almost 10 o'clock and I only just got home, I should have been home at like 7 o'clock, but we had like a 3 hour delay in the airport, which was annoying. But I thought while I'm waiting on my food, I've just ordered some food, I would give you a little update on the book. I am 84% of the way through and I'm on chapter 33. I do look a mess. I did get rained on today, so please ignore. I have really enjoyed this book the whole way through. It's getting to the point now where it's either going to become even better for me or like maybe a little bit rocky. I think it's still gone on the up. I have loved getting to know the two main characters and then the kind of like insights into their lives that we've learned naturally in the way that the story is told. So when they're in the future and they're as adults and things that they're revealing to each other, like it's just so lovely to have a story written in a way that you're like constantly learning about the character as the story goes on, which I really enjoyed and I feel like has been missing from some of my previous reads in the last couple of months. So big fan of that one. I'm also loving this, like the way the story's going. Like it's quite obvious how it's going to end, but there's kind of like some twists and turns and some like speed bumps in the way as we get there. So nice to know that I don't know how we're going to get to it exactly. So that is another positive. It is, as I said, almost 10 o'clock. I have about 15% of the book left to read. I am still hoping that I'm going to get it done. I'm going to eat my food when it comes any second now, and then after that just have a listen maybe while I'm getting ready for bed and unpacking my bag, and then read until I get to the end before I go to sleep. So I will come back tomorrow, so it will be June when I do my final updates, but I will be finishing it by midnight tonight. I will not be defeated on this one.
That wild curling the hair from my face into tiny old lady ringlets. It's not that I have anything against curls. This is far from a loose old Hollywood glam wave.
Good morning everybody, it is officially Monday the 1st of June, which means two things. One is it's my birthday, and also it means that if I didn't finish the book yesterday, it's too late for my May goals. The good news is, of course, I did finish it last night. As I said, when I came home from the airport, I was determined to not go to sleep until I got it done, and I actually got it done really quickly. I had a listen to the audiobook as I was getting ready for bed, and I thought then I'd have a chapter or two to read in bed, but I didn't. I actually finished it on audio and was done by I think 11 o'clock last night. So I got that all logged on my Fable and my Goodreads, and I officially finished 6 books in the month of May. Now, that may not sound like a lot of books to some people, but two things. One, I'm a slow reader and I had a busy month. And two, I took about 10 days in the middle of May where I didn't read or listen to a single thing. So completing 6 books is actually pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. And that also means that we've done a steady incline since January. What that means for me is I'm hoping to maybe keep it at 6 for the rest of the summer, because I don't think I can up it any more than 6. Consistent. If I read more than 6, perfect, but I do want to keep 6 as my minimum for all the summer months, because if I can do it while I'm working, I can do it while I'm not. I want to give you my final thoughts on the book. So, Woke Up Like This by Amy Lee. I think it's Lee, it could be Leah, I'm not actually sure. I should have checked that out, but I haven't. There are some things I did check out about the author while I was reading it though. One thing being I wanted to know where she was from, and that is because it's written as if it's by an American author, but then there were some words that were used in it that I thought, that sounds really English. So then I wanted to see, was she English or American? Turns out she's neither, she's Canadian. For example, she used the word school bag, which I feel like is more of a European term, whereas Americans would say backpack. And she also used, she's used crisps instead of chips. So I was like, I'm a little bit confused. Not confused, but I was like, I don't really know where she's from. So it turns out that Canadians use some of the words that we use. Obviously I'm not English, I'm Irish, but we speak Hiberno English, which is very similar to the Queen's English, or the King's English, I guess it would be now. Anyway, I digress. That was one thing I did look up better, but I didn't look up how to say her surname. Probably should have, but oh well. Overall, I loved this book, and I really loved how Kindle Unlimited offered it as a read and listen file. So you got the Kindle version and you also got the Audible version, and one of the best things of that feature is when you're reading it on your Kindle and then you switch over and you pick up Audible, when you open up Audible and you refresh it, it will pick up from where you left off. You don't have to like find your spot, which is really nice. Book wise, story wise, plot wise, really enjoyed it. I found it really easy to read, really easy to listen to. I found the characters are both actually really likeable, and as I mentioned in the previous clip, the fact that you were always learning things about them, but in a natural way, not in a forced way. I thought that was really, really nice. I don't want to give away how it ends. You do find out with the time travel thing in the blurb or the synopsis, which I didn't read before picking it up, so I was kind of caught off guard, but most people who read the synopsis wouldn't be, so that's not really giving it away. So they do travel 13 years into the future in this book, and it's kind of like in a way it's like an enemies to lovers type of thing, kind of a second chance romance. It's a little bit of a mix between different things, but they are only teenagers at the heart of it. Like, they're only 17, and even when they travel to the future, like, they're 30 but they're 17 in their minds, so it is a little bit more juvenile is not the right word. It's definitely YA. There's no spice, there's no nothing like that, but I found it really refreshing that I could read such a well written romance and a love story that didn't need any of that, and it didn't take away from it. It was still perfect in my opinion. While they were in the future, some of the stuff that they were learning I thought were maybe bigger events, bigger things that they didn't really deal with as much as I thought that you would if you travel 13 years in the future and you found out some of these things, like, it would affect you a little bit more, and good and bad. So some of it I thought was a little bit glossed over, but overall really well written. The time travel thing doesn't really make that much sense, but it's not supposed to make sense. It's not a sci-fi, it's not supposed to be about the time travel. It's more of a 13 going on 30 or a 17 again, those two movies kind of a situation, and in my opinion it's done really well. I'm not going to spoil the end of it or what happens in the end, but I was super happy with how it all wrapped up and how everything kind of made sense. Some of the stuff they found out in the future were kind of, how did we get to that kind of thing, but yeah, it was absolutely an easy read. So glad I picked this one up. I've never heard anybody talk about this before, so if you haven't either, definitely look into it. It's such an easy read. It kind of gives, so obviously it's like 13 Gone on 30, 17 again, those movies. Feeling wise, it kind of was reminiscent. It's completely different from The Summer I Turned Pretty, but it's kind of like young love type situations. So I don't know, I just kind of got the same feelings from it. Very different writing style, very different story and plotline. Same vibes, no explanation. You'll probably disagree with me. But anyway, I ended up giving this one a 3.75. I was so close to giving it a 4-star, but 4 stars for me are books that were almost perfect. I don't give out 5 stars that often really, because I feel like some books, I can always pick faults in books, and I feel like if I can pick a fault in it, it's not a 5-star. So my 4 stars are 5 stars to other people, and I just felt it was missing a little bit of the emotional depth in parts, and also some more information on like some of the parents' situations. But it is definitely worth a read or a listen, or both if you pick it up on Kindle Unlimited, and I highly recommend. And then that brings us to the end of today's video. I managed to hit my May goals, which I'm so happy about. I'm not really like a TBR person anymore. I am a mood reader, but I do like to set myself little challenges, and this month was to reach 6 books, and I did do that. I'm maybe going to set myself a challenge every month of summer. I don't know what June's is going to be yet, which is kind of concerning because June started today, but we'll see. We'll figure it out together. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, or if you want to give me a little birthday present, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.